Hello, everyone, and welcome to the halftime show. We are going to go on a little history lesson. I know this is Veterans' least favorite segment because least likely chance to win here, but I thought, considering the teams, that it might still be fun to take a little trip down memory lane, and we'll try and make it a little bit more fair. Beatdown and Rafa, I hope that you two know the answers to these, so you get 1 point for a correct answer. Veteran, if you get it right, we get to make fun of the casters as much as we want, and you're gonna get 2 points, all right?
Okay, the stakes.
Okay, to be fair, he does that anyway. Just that last part, I just want to throw that out
You're
there.
just giving him a free excuse now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Exactly.
It's
This
part
is
of the show, guys. It's part of the show.
Alright, okay.
it is. That was in the brief. Exactly. Exactly how that goes down. Yes. All right. Start with our first question, and even if you two know the answer, give Veteran a chance, an opportunity. All right. We're not trying to make our guests look too bad. First off, how many players on these teams were in the first Proving Grounds? We were talking about TSMA and Fear, for anyone wondering.
One of them definitely has to have been. I'm just gonna say one. Wait, am I gonna say that? Yeah, I'm just gonna say one.
All right, Beatdown Rafa. What do you two say?
I'm gonna say 4?
Really? Okay.
Veteran's like, oh shoot.
I'm
Rafa,
trying.
what about you?
I'm trying to remember if Revival made it into Proving Grounds, and I don't remember if they did because the amateur teams were No Org, Barrage. I think it's 2.
All right, let's roll the answer, and it is drum roll. I need to get a drum
like
one of
10.
these days. It is 2.
Oh!
It is 2.
Okay.
So Rafa, congratulations. It was Anda, Norg, finishing in first, and then Dragoon. So a little bit of history here, Rafa. Okay.
Because Rafa was giving the history earlier on, and I was paying attention when he gave that segment, and it's like, oh, Anders been here for years. He has to have been at the first one, you know. So there was definitely one.
Hey, always wait for the teacher to give the answer away. That's smart. That's how you do it. They talk enough, they eventually will. All right. See how well you're paying attention. Question 2. So we're getting right into the nitty-gritty. What significance did Soul play in TSM's last Proving Ground run?
Uh...
I know this is, like I said, you get bonus points because I don't blame you for not knowing. The casters, though.
I don't understand the question. Significant. Like,
This is so
he's on...
broad. It could be so. I can't
So-
even
Yeah.
guess. Like he got a sick ribbon counter pick. I don't know.
Significance of Soul last Proving Ground.
Think a little bit like more specific. So TSM's last
like a
Proving
specific-
Ground run.
Okay.
What happened to them, and why could have Soul made an impact?
Did he have to rename during the tournament or something?
Technically, no, he had to
I've never
rename
really guessed
before spring when he joined. But I'm just gonna let Mark answer because it's not coming. He's got it. He's doing the
He knows.
the dance.
All right, Rafa.
Soul knocked out TSM Academy in the spring Proving Grounds when he was on Immortals AoE as Animaker.
Yep, that is exactly it.
That was
See,
spring this year. True.
I know it all comes around full circle, huh, Rafa?
Yeah, it's strange how that happens. Now, Soul was also one of the players in this past game that was not getting completely lopsided by the bottom investment of Cincinnati Fear's tactics. Made sure that, hey, you know what? If anyone's going to take out TSM, it's going to be of my own hand, and I'm not letting that happen today.
There you go. All right, well, so far in the game, Rafa is up 2 points. Still 3 more questions, though, so plenty of opportunity to catch up. Question number 3. Which members of Fear played in Proving Grounds 2022 spring for no team?
I'm just waiting. I said it a bunch.
Yeah,
on broadcast.
beat down mentioned
Okay,
it like.
I know one of them. Okay, so Blaze did. I think. I'm gonna say Blaze and Dragoon, and I'm just gonna lock that. Wait, did their jungler? I'm just gonna lock Blaze and Dragoon, and I'm gonna agree because something in my head is screaming that their jungler did. But I'm just gonna lock those two.
All right, beat down Rafa. And do you know
Beat down,
the third
you
one
may
that rounded out?
take the honors.
Thank you, my brother in cake. It is Blaze, Dragoon, and Plux.
I
have no way of
appreciate
knowing
Rafa that you.
He just let me have it. What a swell guy. We make fun of him all the time too, Sierra. Like, what's? Yeah,
Rafa, that would have been 3 points and no chance for Elite Beatdown to
I
catch
know.
up, and you just gave him the point instead. What is this?
What a king.
It's okay. I'm still gonna win this thing. So. You know.
Okay, I like it. He's wrong, but I like it. You fool.
Alright.
You just gave up your only advantage. Now I'm gonna win.
Bring it on.
Hey, you know what? I do feel like it is worth some sort of points thrown Veterans' way because that was 2 out of 3. So
That's true.
we'll give you partial credit there. I don't know how many, but if Beatdown only
One.
gets
Good.
1 point, you're doing better than Beatdown. I'll give you 1.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Hey, 1.5 points. Nice. I forgot about this. I like this.
Oh, if we are mean to the guests, they won't want to appear on the show anymore. Like, we went through this, guys. Okay, just a little bit, just a little bit. All right, question number 4. How many proving grounds did Takeover participate in?
3? Counting this one? Are we
It
counting
would be
this
technically, we are counting this one.
one? 4? I'm gonna say 4.
Beat down Rafa.
I'm gonna say 3.
God, it
Summer
is 3.
2021,
Yep.
spring 2021, or 2022,
I
and
was gonna
this
say-
and this summer. So it's only 3. It's
Yeah.
only 3.
Yeah.
I have down
Oh.
here that was only 2. 2021 summer, 2022 summer.
Oh, what? So in spring, was he just playing for TSM LCS in spring?
Oh, because Kaido,
don't tell me he's playing.
Kaido was playing for spring and he had been bumped into LCS. Ah,
Yeah. There
son
it is.
of a. Oh,
Yeah.
You were so confident,
feeling.
Rafa, that you made me doubt myself. I know my answers are right, and you were so confident that I'm going through my mind like there is no way that I pulled up
no one
to
else got it
trivia.
right. It's okay.
Yeah, that is true. No one else got it right, but you at least were so confident in your answer that you had me doubting myself. So
You know, the thing was, I was like, oh, everyone's going to think that TakeOver also started in spring 2021, but he didn't because Sword was still playing and TakeOver was brought in the summer. I was like, oh, yeah, I got this. And then I forgot. TSM did a roster swap again. Oh, my God, dude.
We were talking about it too. How funny
when
is
in
that?
doubt, TSM roster swap out. All right.
It doesn't work, but, you know, they can try all the... Sorry.
They're winning today.
So
Okay.
far, though, they definitely it was weird. It was weird. All right, question number 5. What player on Cincinnati Fear previously played for TSM?
Hyper.
All right. You done, Rafa?
It was. I was looking at OPGGs today too. Oh my, not OPGGs. I was looking at Wikipedia's. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so upset. I am pretty sure.
Is this only starting roster for Cincinnati Fear, or does this include subs?
It is the entire roster.
Oh, wait a minute. Then it's Come on, brain. Come on, brain. Think of stuff. Come on, you know this. I was looking at it
so
today.
confused.
What are eyes for if I can't remember what I see?
Are you two okay?
Well, okay. So the thing is that
I
I
Wait, Sarah, am I allowed to Google the whole roster just so I can see the player names?
No!
No.
What? Wait, how is that cheating?
No. All right. Well, veteran said Hyper. I didn't realize he was on the Cincinnati Fear roster. I'm going to have full faith because he played previously for Cincinnati.
That is
TSM.
making my answers. I'm just saying.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
When you're finally right, and they just like doubt this
how
whole time.
did you know Hyper? Well, hold on. How did you know Hyper was on the roster, huh?
Because I've been casting these guys the whole split.
Did you Google it?
Yeah, it is.
I've been casting
You
the whole
two
split. Yeah, I
doubt
Googled it when I went for Cincinnati Fear, the whole split. I've casted
Okay.
these guys multiple times. I know I possess.
All right, man.
There was always a
All right,
question
I'm
if
down.
I
Yeah,
watched
Hyper.
I said
actually
Hyper.
start or not, you know?
War Machine Hyper.
Okay.
I mean, I can't believe that how fast Veteran said the answer, that you two doubted and sat there. Beatdown wanted to go Google it. Veteran's there the whole time giving you two this
I
look
said
of
Google the
disbelief.
Yeah.
roster,
Well,
not the
okay.
answer.
Okay.
It's not the same thing.
I gave
I-
it like
I-
instant.
I know
had no
he gave
time
an
to
instant.
Google it.
I just wanted to make sure that veteran wasn't just like going for like
Saying things.
like mental warfare tactic and be like, oh yeah, I don't know it, so I'm just gonna say this and like bait Rafa and Beatdown into thinking that like, oh yeah, the substitutes are included. And so I was like, okay, are they included? I'm like, okay. Because veterans' confidence on answers sometimes like
man.
gets
I
me
know.
super
Was
weak.
the
I'm
only
like,
one he answered.
what the?
No, he answered all of them. He threw out numbers for the other
technically,
ones.
This is the
Yeah.
only one where I was like, boom, answer, done. This is the only one.
Yeah.
All right, are you three ready for the final tally here?
Yeah. Oh wait.
All
Yeah.
right. Beatdown
Oh my
eliminated. We don't talk about googling during our sections. Absolutely
Oh my
unreal.
god! What the hell?
All right. If we are not counting the bonus points for the extra for knowing two of the members of Fear, you two are technically tied 2-2. If we count the bonus points, veteran wins. Rafa, if you didn't give your points away to Beatdown,
You know what?
What?
I like this outcome. If I don't win, at least
listen,
Mark doesn't win.
All I'm gonna say about this is that means that Peruvians stay winning, and for that, I'm okay with that. Let's go.
What happened, Sierra? What happened to the Canada? Like,
you
come
know,
on.
I don't know. Before anything gets a little more degenerate, you can blame Rafa, you can blame everyone else. Me and Veteran are getting
Okay.
out of here. Have fun with Champ Select, you two.
Man.
What
yeah,
an
it was-
that was a fun halftime show.
It was-
My
it was
cheeks
good.
are hurting now. Oh god.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. Now for Cincinnati Fear, their cheeks are not feeling so good after the reverse clapping from TSM Academy, but it's okay. They've got one more game potentially to turn things around in their favor before we are back to series point for both teams here.
Yeah, and that's the big thing here. Of course, again, we're in the lower brackets. This is for elimination here, and TSM are one game from kicking Fear out of the tournament. We're going to lose our second AM team of the day if that happens. Cincinnati Fear, they got to dig deep. They definitely need to bounce back in this series if they want to go to the game 3. And I think the big thing, Mark, is we talked about it when there was the brief break in between. It was they felt the pressure. As soon as that play went wrong at the third dragon, they just started forcing plays unnecessarily. They were still in a reasonable spot, but they gave, after that play, great play from Takeover, they gave Cincinnati Fear everything they needed, or they gave TSM Academy, everything they needed to close it out.
And for Cincinnati Fear, that means changing up the game plan as well. TSM Academy, though, despite the game win, know that they were beat when it came to the early game. And
Yeah.
that means no more Draven for Sketch. Cincinnati Fear, though, are forced to change around their strategy, which means it's not a Lee Sin angle for Trickster, it is Trundle duty.
Yeah, and that one is a bit more of an interesting one. You still have a lot of that early game impact, especially come level 3, and you will be able to have a lot of chances to kind of answer what Onda is going to do here. And with the Sivir lock-in, interestingly enough, that just tells us Cincinnati Fear flipping the script, like we were saying. It's dead. Now they're going to play more for the later stages of the game, and if they pair it from the Yuumi, well, we saw it in Series 1, Mark. It's nasty.
Also for Cincinnati Fear, that means they won't be playing through the bottom side as much, because for Sivir, you are just content letting Sketch just wave clear their way throughout the laning phase and try to avoid interactions. However, as Veteran, has brought up before, Sivir nerfs off of the last this patch has made her slightly weaker, and so TSM Academy, they're saying, oh, you're seeding, agency in the bottom lane. Okay, well, Tactical and Mia, we were getting beat up by the Draven last time. It's time that we throw down the gauntlet. We are extending our advantage with the Lucian Nami.
Right, and you see the Lulu hover, that's probably going to get locked in just so you have, again, kind of like we were talking about in Series 1 with the Aphelios Lulu, that bit of shielding and healing once the itemization comes through to just survive until Sketch gets to that point where he's a late game monstrosity. But the problem is, you don't have much room to make mistakes against the Lucian Nami.
Yeah.
Already, especially with the Wukong as well, you have a lot of early game power here for TSM Academy and a lot of ways to start a snowball of your own like Cincinnati tried before.
Well, Cincinnati Fear, now we're advancing into the second round of the pick and ban phase. Looking at top lane picks, I imagine, or at least mid laner champions as well, Gwen already being one of them. And now this begs the question, Beatdown, if Sivir is not going to be something that Cincinnati Fear play strongly through, or at least protect as often as they did with the Draven pick, who is stepping up for Cincinnati Fear? Who is going to be receiving more of the resources this time around?
We could easily see that shift towards Dragoon on the top side of the map. I was kind of holding to see what that last ban is from TSM Academy. If there really is an angle for the Darius to come through, maybe this is that chance to bring it out for your what could be your last game at Proving Grounds here for Dragoon. Though it may be a little tough to play into what we're seeing so far here. So it could just be a lane where you still show up on the bottom side with the Trundle because you have a lot of impact on your own. And if you catch Tactical and Mia unawares in the earlier parts of the game, even with all their damage, in that 3 versus 2, you can certainly win that. So with that alone, if that's what it looks like with the rest of Fear's composition, it's going to be about trying to keep an eye on Onda in the early game so that you can have an idea on where he's going to be and attack where he's not.
Last man is a Victor. Now, Cincinnati Fear, okay, well, it's not playing through topside. Dragoon has locked in Ornn. You get powerful engage potential. But for TSM Academy, there's still a couple champions that remain on the table. I don't think Takeover has played these champions so far. But if we see a Yasuo being synchronized with already a Wukong, I mean, that would make Dragoon's day pretty miserable when it comes to starting off the engage, because you can just win wall that Ornn ultimate.
Yeah, that's definitely an option there. So we'll see. We're seeing the last picks come through, and it's looking like it could very well be the Orianna. But the thing to talk about, Soul, he's going to be locking in the Gnar once again. A big pick for him lately, especially considering how TSM Academy usually play away from Soul in the top lane. And I mean, Gnar, one of the stronger blind picks, even though it's not blind in this matchup, makes a lot of sense there, especially because you're playing into the Ornn here. And it's actually going to be Takeover now, locking in the LeBlanc. We talked about Blaze and how he plays these champions. Well, I've seen quite a handful of great LeBlanc games from Takeover too, with how he performed on the Silas. I'm scared if I'm Sketch.
There's even been some LCS games where even in defeat, Takeover looked amazing on the LCS stage, and in one of his few games that he played during the spring and during that roster swap. So for Cincinnati Fear, the answer is Lissandra. You're going to have that reliable engage, the reliable pick ability to at least lock down one priority target for the side of TSM Academy. More than likely, you're looking at Takeover or Tactical, trying to lock them down to prevent them from being able to run you over in these fights. When it comes to late game scaling, Cincinnati Fear has plenty in supply just thanks to the Sivir and the Ornn, but the question Beatdown is, can they endure the early game from TSM Academy this time around?
That's going to be the hard thing, because we talked about patience and playing cool, which is something Cincinnati Fear failed to do towards the back half of game 1. Again, lost. They were ahead, and in under 4 minutes, they not only lost all the gold lead, they lost the game. Cincinnati Fear need to play calm and collected in this early game mark if they want a chance at a game 3, if they want a chance to continue going on here in Proving Grounds. Because again, that Lucian Nami is going to be a big pressure point in the early game here, and getting the LeBlanc out of lane, much like what we saw previously from Blaze, is how I'm expecting TSM Academy to play things out. And as Cincinnati Fear, minimize your losses. That's the play.
Well, TSM Academy and Cincinnati Fear will be taking to the Rift once again, potentially the last time for Cincinnati Fear as they face Series Point from TSM Academy on the other side of the map.
Here it is. Last chance for both teams, but last chance for Cincinnati Fear. They're throwing it all on the line with this draft that is more about the later stages of the game. Letting go of a lot of early game agency compared to what they had before, Mark. And TSM basically taking it, saying, no problem, thank you, don't mind if I do. Again, Cincinnati Fear, if you want to win this game, you need to keep this early game nice and slow. And for that, I'm kind of looking towards Trickster and maybe even Blaze to be able to kind of slow down everything Onda and Takeover want to do in the earlier parts of the game. I think that's part of the strength of this Trundle pick.
And Soul immediately is going to find that Trickster is waiting, or at least someone was waiting in the bush. I don't think Trickster revealed whether it was just him or if there could have been potentially other opponents there waiting. They get a ward down onto the Raptor bush. But as you said, Beatdown, Trickster and Blaze, they have decent skirmishing abilities, but they are nowhere as lethal as Takeover and Anda for the first few levels of the game. It's more about their responsibility to protect Dragoon, to protect Sketch and Plux through the first 10-15 minutes of the game, because you need to ensure they don't fall too disastrously far behind.
And already some very aggressive early trading going here for the side of Cincinnati Fear. But I mean, this is Lucian Nami we're talking about. I don't know if this is ideal.
Oh, good God. Tactical and Mia just pressing up forward. Sketch and Plux already down sub 200 HP. And Mia and Tactical off of the next wave will be able to hit level 2 as they're just trying to zone him up. Oh, an aggressive flash forward from Plux. They're trying to find a moment where Mia was separated from Tactical. And it's a great window. Sketch flashing forward to keep distance between him and Tactical. They can hit level 2 here. And now it's Tactical that gets zoned off.
Oh my God, Mark, what an insane turnaround. Split-second decision from the bot lane of Sketch and Plux, and look what it got them. First blood for the Sivir, who's not supposed to be in control in the early game, and level 2 for Sketch and Plux, meaning Tactical, buddy. This wave is not yours. You need to relax.
And Tactical tried to flash after to save the play, but Sketch was already one step ahead of him, and the fact that Tactical could not capitalize on that. He is now down a summoner spell. He only has the cleanse left, but this is so difficult because you see Tactical Mia, they had control of this play, but it's just the instant Tactical goes to ward, Plux realizes this is our moment.
And look at the mini-map. You saw that caution ward. There was a ward placed by Takeover that spotted out Trickster. You knew the timer he was going to show up, but that ward was in place of that. But props to Fear to being able to punish what's usually pretty good warding.
TSM Academy. Now, the entire game momentum has not been decided off of one play, but being able to decelerate the momentum of Tactical and Mia on this Lucian Nami lane is something that we talked about that was going to be the responsibility of Trickster and Blaze. The fact that Sketch and Plux make that advantage their own is huge for this amateur squad.
Absolutely. Big props to Sketch and Plux. I want to talk about Sketch, but I'm afraid Mia's going to do something in the mid lane. So for now, we'll hold on to that one.
Mia, can he walk on forward? Lands the Aqua Prison. Takeover gets a little bit more damage down. The Electrocute procs. Blaze not going down anytime soon. Plux being able to roam on in. And Anda, do we see a dive this early in the game? That would be very risky.
It would, especially with Blaze still using the potions to heal up. Oh my God, so many people are here. Blaze also has flash, so it's not really worth going for. But already, you're seeing Tactical and Mia try to use some of the priority they have still naturally bot lane, despite that first blood, to have an impact on other parts of the map, Mark. And you can already tell TSM trying to recover what they've lost in these earlier parts of the game. So far, what they've been going for has not been working.
Oh, Takeover gets baited here. Trickster maybe can look to punish. Pillar placement is crucial. Gets the slow down. Takeover is not deterred, though, by the threats of 3 members from Fear. Holds on to the flash and ensures that he can catch the wave.
That is a pretty big deal there. And I like it, though, the activity from Trickster and Plux. Just being able to... It isn't just about minimizing losses for them. It's trying to apply pressure, influence this mid matchup, because we already know Takeover on this LeBlanc, he's going to try to leave lane. You lock him down, minimize his early impact. you can keep these matchups locked down to just their lanes. And I mean, looking at what happened level 1, I think Fear is perfectly happy with that one.
Yeah, as long as Takeover and Anda are now not trying to revert the state of the lane in Tactical and Mia's favor once again on the bottom side of the map, Plux or Sketch are happy to just ride out the rest of the game this way. Trickster making a roam here just to cover and make sure that there's no dive attempt that is coming from Anda, or making sure that maybe they can catch out Tactical and Mia overextended. Anda would be able to answer back. Trickster's not going to bite.
Yeah, they don't want to go try and force it here. At the end of the day, he's just going to walk back and clear out on his camps here. But so far, I think early game is just fine here for Cincinnati Fear. Again, you just want to minimize your losses with the draft that you have. So the fact that they managed to get that extra gold on Sketch, I think is a great thing. And because this wave at this point is being pretty well contested by Sketch and Plux, I think setting up for this dive is going to be pretty difficult. Anda isn't going to quite have the angle he maybe wants, so he's just going to settle for some deep vision instead.
It's really hard. I mean, you don't have a tank support, so you can't tank as many turret shots with Aftershock either.
That's right.
You would have to rely on Mia being at max turret range to do it, and you don't have any other reliable CC outside of a good Aqua Prison to really get things going this early.
Right. And now, you're going to see Trickster show up again in this mid lane. Again, he's sweeping just to make sure that Takeover doesn't know what's going on here. But we may have actually a fight going on. Oh, Plux. Oh, wait, they tried to predict him walking back, actually. Honestly, that would have been a pretty nasty pickup there. And you can see it. Tactical Mia mark. They're trying to find whatever they can here. Possibly feeling some of the pressure from that early kill. Because right now, things are even, besides the kill Sketch has gotten for himself here. And I like that Fear, not even trying to really risk anything going for objectives. They're happy farming things out.
Okay, the advantage is found. Plux immediately forced to flash away. Tactical and Mia pressing that advantage forward. Tactical maintains his flash advantage over Plux now. Sketch forced to use the heal. Blaze, this is an all-in from Takeover. Chain connects, but it's just trading. And now, the fact that Plux is down a flash, there could be a moment where TSM are pulled towards the bottom side of the map.
That's right, and we're still looking at Anda and Takeover to be able to, I mean, try and do something in this early game. Despite their best attempts, not very much has gone in the favor of TSM Academy. And you're even seeing it. Anda going for these early invades hasn't been able to find very much on the top side of the map here, but things are just going nice and slow for Cincinnati Fear.
Yeah, for TSM, you are really waiting on Cyclone to come out before Anda's able to make any huge engages with this champion. You don't have reliable CC on the bottom side of the map. You can look maybe for plays in the mid lane off of Takeover's chains. The fact that Takeover's putting down enough pressure though to force Blaze out, that opens up the window on the top side of the map where Soul is also getting a lot of pressure against Dragoon thanks to the counterpick matchup of Gnar into Ornn. With this Rift Herald now in their possession, I imagine the TSM are gonna either make a decision to try and put more pressure through the top lane, give Soul more gold, or look to kind of spoon-feed Tactical and make sure that he is insanely ahead versus just keeping even with Sketch.
And I think with how Soul is naturally running this matchup, and the fact that Anda is pathing towards that bottom side, I think we're going to see him drop that Herald towards the bottom side. Maybe not set up a dive, but if you set up an opportunity, Plux is still flashless, so if you catch them stepping just a little too far forward in lane, he gets one kill off. That should be enough for you to get some gold into Tactical's pocket here. And I think with that first dragon going down, that's really the best option for you here, to just continue using that bot prio that you still naturally have. Speaking of prio, Blaze is looking for a move.
Thankfully for Fear, there's camps for Trickster to eat up on the bottom side of the map. Resetting right after the dragon means that he is naturally pathing towards this bottom side of the map where Anda could be matching. And so at least Trickster will be here in case Anda decides to make his move. Whether it is just a simple Rift Herald drop, as you pointed out, or if they want to push further with the dive off of this cooldown of Plux's flash.
So far, the opportunity seeming like it's about to present himself here. Anda is clearing out vision. Actually, could very well be in the mid lane here. Instead, he might be able to actually catch out Blaze. There we go.
I think they're... Oh, wow. He just dipped over onto the bottom side of the map.
said no thanks.
I mean, So Trickster right now, he's on Wolves. They obviously, TSM don't have this information, but seeing the blue buff handoff, Handa can find Trickster here, bully him away from the bottom quadrant in the jungle, and that would isolate Sketch and Plux. And Trickster, unless he is willing to, you know, sacrifice tempo on his clear, would stay just to hover and protect Sketch and Plux. Blaze taking a lot of damage here. Takeover just trying to get as much damage chunk out of him so that Blaze cannot respond to the bottom side of the map. There's so much pressure that is being surmounted just through this quadrant right now because they are prepping so that they can actually put this Rift Herald down safely on the bottom side of the map and maximize the advantage they would get.
They're trying, though, but you talk about tempo and clearing jungle camps. The same is true for Anda, and the fact is he hasn't been doing much clearing as of late. He has camps that he needs to go for here, and the opportunity for that bot lane play again. Mia, although now hit level 6 and has the tidal wave, still very squishy, still hard to set up this dive, because the thing we haven't highlighted too, this has to go really well because Sivir, of course, does have the spell shield. You basically need to bait that out and still land further CC to be able to actually touch Sketch, who has both summoner spells. So Anda's now at a point where this Herald is going to be expiring very quickly, and he's running out of options here. And again, the slow lane state, even though you can see the gold lead is slightly in favor of TSM, I think largely due to top lane CS, this game state is okay for Fear.
Yeah. Fear, as we pointed out before during the draft phase, as long as they can endure the first 15 minutes of the game and get out scot-free without any, you know, irreversible consequences, they're completely fine. And right now, the only, you know, major advantage has just been, you know, Soul versus Dragoon. But, I mean, Ornn doesn't care. Like, it's like, okay, I'm down 20 CS. I still have one of the best ultis in the game. I still have late game scaling, not only for myself as a tank, but also the fact I can upgrade my homies' mythics.
Yes. Like, it's insane how you see the switch up come through for Dragoon on the Ornn. We know he can play a lot of these lane bully, carry champions, even on the Alawi. He was running things in that early laning phase, but he can also play the Ornn. And in this setup, that utility is invaluable for Cincinnati Fear's composition. Even though that turret goes through, yes, Soul does get a lot of gold in his pocket as a result. But you said it, Dragoon still has so many great tools to help later on into the game. And look what happens as a result. Sketch is picking up turret plays, tactical, forced off the wave.
And I think this is an interesting decision that TSM has made because they recognize that after what seemed like, oh, okay, tactical opening on up, Culling doesn't go quite his way. The Sketch able to dodge on out thanks to the movement speed from Heal. A Gale Force used by Tactical as well. They've chunked out Sketch to sub 50% HP. And if this recall goes off, Tactical will be able to cash in at least one, maybe two plates before plates fall off at the 14-minute mark.
Yeah, that is something. Although Trickster is in the area, being able to help clear the wave so that doesn't happen. But the problem is we have a bit of a 3v2 here, and Mia syncing up, but not actually going for the dive. We've had very little skirmishing break out here, Mark, since that level 1 play came through and Sketch picked up first blood along with Plux. But that could change very soon with this dragon coming through in about 20 seconds time.
I mean, okay, wait, Plux is forced to flash. Okay.
Flash, yeah.
I mean, but you can see, yes, they got a flash out of Plux, but you can see why TSM went topside in the first place with that Rift Herald after seemingly living in the estate of Fear's jungle for the past minute and a half. They realized it is just hopeless. They cannot break through the defenses of the wave clear from Sketch, Trickster constantly hovering and making things really dangerous for TSM, but a Trickster poking his head in, I mean, he gets the subjugate off, so he's slightly tankier, but Blaze cannot do enough to help him because Soul has also joined the cause here for the side of TSM Academy. They've finally taken out the jungler when he pokes his head a little too far forward, and this dragon is theirs.
Mark, we keep talking about patience for Cincinnati Fear. They didn't need that dragon. They got the first one, and they are the team who scales very well into the later parts of the game. Great team fight. Good damage and sustain. You don't care about Dragon Soul, Mark. Let's be honest here. There was no need for Trickster to go ahead and even check that. You know that's done. Go farm your topside camps. Keep it moving. And this is what I mean when I say try and minimize your losses. Prevent things like this from happening. Because TSM Academy now are starting to grow this lead a little bit. And at first, it was from CS leads, top and jungle, and I'm personally, given Fear's comp, I'm okay with that. But now you're giving away more gold than necessary because of unnecessary checks like that. And now it's starting to be a little more concerning, I think.
Yeah, I think the word you were also grasping at was impatience as well from the side of Cincinnati Fear. And, you know, to contrast that, they were showing a great amount of patience just a while ago when TSM were just, you know, thirsting for the idea of dropping Rift Tail on the bottom side of the map when they finally gave up and said, all right, you know what, Soul, you're already winning. No, is this a solo kill? Wait, Blaze still has flash, but I don't think he gets out of this one unless he gets close enough to the tower. Takeover, one more auto attack there, a flash away. No way out, plays this one right. Takeover cannot take out Blaze.
Wow. Insanely tight. But Blaze manages to walk away from this one. So much committed from Takeover. And I mean, this is what we're talking about here. And we just got word that Blaze walked away with just about 70 HP. Another auto would have finished him off.
Sub 3 digits.
Still, yeah, I mean, not giving LeBlanc kills, though. Props to Blaze for that one. It's kind of pretty much the whole reason you try and play the Lissandra into it. Again, try to minimize what Takeover is going to be able to do.
That was...
It's kind of... Weren't you clenching? I was
Yeah,
clenching.
yeah, definitely. I was watching it unfold and I'm thinking, I mean, Blaze doesn't die here, right? He doesn't die here, right? Oh, this is close. You know what? I never doubt.
Yeah, of course not.
Full
Mark
unwavering
Doubters? Never.
confidence. Never.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Never heard of it. But for the side of TSM Academy, we go back to the conversation once again that this is a team that is forced to make plays early. They have to accelerate the tempo of the game. And Cincinnati Fear, if they're able to demonstrate moments like that where, you know, you are able to endure as long as possible and minimize the amount of loss you are taking in the early stages of the game, then you get to the point of the game where you eclipse TSM in strength.
You do. And granted, TSM, they have quite a sizable lead. If we could flip to see the goal differences, observers, because I feel like I know where a lot of it is, and I'm guessing it's top lane. I just want to know how much.
Damn.
Okay, so of this 4,000 gold lead, 2,000 of it is top lane, and it's Soul. And to be fair, I mean, Gnar does deal decent damage with the lead, but we talked about it. Dragoon's still useful. He still offers so much to the team, as long as he's getting XP and levels, which he's been keeping up in. And now, the rest of the lead is mid-jungle. Not as sizable, but still a little bit of gold, and it's showing in the itemization. So I think Fear, honestly, they're not in a bad spot, Mark. I'll say it.
Yeah, a 1,500 gold advantage for Anda versus Trickster, but it's also, he's playing Trundle. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah,
in the grand scope of things, you don't need to be insanely ahead. Your job is to buy space for Sketch and Blaze. That is it. And the fact that, if you notice, the only person that wasn't down in gold, it was Sketch. Sketch was the only one that was on parity with Tactical. And the fact that TSM recognized that and realized that there's no realistic way that they are finding ways to get Tactical ahead of Sketch anytime soon, at least just through pure laning phase, then they had to put advantage down into Soul. And this is now the second Rift Herald being thrown down, trying to unlock the mid lane. Trickster doesn't have flash anymore. This could be a great pick from TSM Academy. Ways for them to continue leveraging this advantage forward. Trickster finally goes down. Beautifully timed Aqua Prison from Mia, catching out Blaze. Dragoon comes in for reinforcements alongside Plux, but the Rift Herald has already done the damage that TSM were looking for.
And that is at least a trade, because I believe the turret damage and ended up taking down Onda. So that is a 2-for-1 there in the mid lane, but still, this is TSM getting a lot more than what Fear bargained for here. You get that mid-tier 1 turret, you get 2 kills in the process, and you're going to see it. It's a great roam timer from Soul, who's already walking down with the Mega Gnar, and it's just a perfect setup for Anda to be able to follow up the Cyclone. At this point, there's nothing else to say. It doesn't get any easier.
And for, you know, Plux and Dragoon, managing to at least salvage the play with the remnants of Blaze's last bit of burst. You know, getting the trade at least minimizes the advantage that TSM are getting once again. We're about to hit the 20-minute mark, and, you know, maybe people are asking, so we keep talking about that Fear. They just need to get to the late game. Okay, well, when is late game for these guys?
Right, and the big thing you're looking for, especially for Blaze and Sketch, is a 2-3 item mark. And honestly, 20 minutes in, and with how much TSM are taking on the map, it is starting to feel like it's like seconds feeling like minutes kind of angle. You know what I'm talking about, Mark? Where it's like, oh, it's just a couple more minutes, but they're agonizing for Cincinnati Fear just because of how TSM Academy, is smothering the map. Because this is what you're seeing on the top side. Oh my god!
There you go. All right, TSM Academy. They were not having any luck in being able to take out Sketch and Plux in the 2v2, so Tactical and me have decided to jump on Blaze when he is caught unaware. And just like that, TSM finding more ways to just continue pushing this advantage forward.
Right, now this is where things are starting to get a little rough. And what I was talking about too is that tier 1 turret is the first turret Fear have actually gotten here. So there's a lot of gold they can still pick up on the map if they start to remove these outer turrets. But with the fact that kills are slowly starting to go through, like that mid lane, actually both mid lane plays that came through, now TSM Academy, they look like they're in a really strong spot, Mark. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, suddenly, you know, we were looking at a 3,000 gold lead, and, you know, the onus was on Cincinnati Fear to, you know, play with patience and minimize loss as much as possible. And they did well for the first 10, 12 minutes, but then that mid-game, they found themselves overextended or in places that they shouldn't have been. TSM were right there to punish and just waiting for the opportunity to capitalize on, and they have done it without any hesitation whatsoever. And TSM now, with this gold lead in hand, they can now start taking fights aggressively against Cincinnati Fear, where they have to be more respectful.
Right, and I think another thing to highlight too is Soul. I mean, Dragoon's just dead, right? We can accept that. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
So, and I think to just bounce off your point, Mark, oh my god, we're still fighting.
Yeah, TSM Academy, I mean, they have the gold advantage. They have the wallet advantage that they feel confident enough and saying, you know what, we can push our limits here. We can push the boundaries at which how far we are willing to pursue Fear into the defenses of their base, opening up space so that they can continue taking out these turrets. Tactical with the culling over the wall, gets Trickster and Plux down sub 50% HP. Sketch also down 50% HP. TSM finally starting to retreat a little bit, but Soul making quick work of the tower on the bottom side of the map beat down. I mean, this is just almost seems clinical from TSM at this point.
You're losing everything on the side of Cincinnati Fear. And the thing I want to highlight too is I think we got to give some props to TSM Academy. We've been highlighting it pretty much since they got into this tournament, and we saw Soul come back down to play for the Academy squad. I think you said 6 different rosters here for TSM Academy, and we worried about how they would play cohesively, how they would actually play as a team, struggling with adapting Soul back into the roster again, and we're starting to see that kind of really come through on today's game. Because I mean, the way they came back in game 1 after one good play, I think was really smart. They wasted no time getting that advantage back in their favor and winning the game. And in this game, they're just systematically, slowly choking the life out of Fear, even though it wasn't until about a minute or two ago where I really started to worry about Fear's TSM. It was just slow. It was couldn't get what they wanted on the bottom side.
Right.
And you could see how well they've been able to get themselves. Now they're 10k up, and there's only 7 kills.
And just to see the evolution of this roster come through when it matters most, when they are one series away from being knocked out in the Proving Grounds tournament. To see AoE Esports take out Golden Guardians Academy, who were in a similar spot to TSM Academy. They went through multiple roster swaps and multiple roster iterations. TSM Academy, no stranger to playing with a new roster almost every other week, but they have managed to find one that works, a playstyle that works, and a cohesive communication system that is allowing them to dismantle their opponents week to week.
And this week, that opponent is Cincinnati Fear. Objective bounties are up. What did you call them? Pity something, Mark?
Pity prizes.
Pity prizes, that's right. And Fear, I mean, at this point, they'll take whatever they can get here, but this is tough for them. Even though they are getting towards these later game points where their champs are strongest, look over at TSM. You have 3 items on Soul on the Snar, and everyone else is about at their peak right now. 2 items on mid, jungle, and bot lane. You can't actually do anything really except clear waves to Cincinnati Fear.
This could be a moment where Fear look to capitalize on the takeover, force the flash away, but it's a great tidal wave and cyclone combo to catch Cincinnati Fear in this choke point, but it's all on the tactical, and Soul looks for it, scoops up one on the plucks, but doesn't find them all, so he is forced to flash. Cincinnati Fear going to continue to press forward. Soul has been removed from the rest of his team, and TSM, the backline, cannot further assist on the play. Cincinnati Fear finding potentially the start of a miracle comeback.
This is it. This could be it. Sketch getting a big shutdown. A lot of gold. Soul had the most on the side of TSM Academy, so that shutdown must have been a big one. You get a lot of tools out. A lot of summoners out of the members of TSM Academy, and that's just in time for Dragon spawning soon. You don't have the angle to go for the Baron, but being able to take something, I think, is really nice for Cincinnati Fear, and we're seeing it, Mark. That's 3-item sketch. Infinity Edge is here. At this point, Dragoon, Trickster, they gotta play what their champs are for, and it's making space for that Sivir, because that damage is gonna be insane.
And Dragoon has lent his hammer to forge Sketch's Mythic. The Kraken Slayer has evolved into its final form, and for Cincinnati Fear, it couldn't have come at a better time. They have not lost any inhibitor towers quite yet, so they are holding on to the outer skirts of their base for defenses. But if Cincinnati Fear can replicate another fight where they're fighting on their terms, TSM will face the fury of Sketch's Sivir.
Yeah, now I like it. Not even committing for this Dragon, Mark. It's just controlling as much vision as you can on the top side, because Baron is what matters. Especially with that Cloud Dragon certainly going over to TSM Academy. So now you see Blaze shoving out that top wave, making it so that it'll be a little easier for Cincinnati Fear to maybe set up their vision line past the river. And that's what you're hoping for right now, because you need a chance at the Baron if TSM Academy are going to go for it here. That's your window back into this game. You get one more fight, like what we saw a minute ago, Mark, and you turn it into a Baron. Said it before, a lot of outer towers out, a lot of easy gold for Fear to pick out. They could find their way back in it.
And, you know, realistically, you could look at the scoreboard and say, well, it's still a 9,000 gold advantage for TSM, right? There's no way that they lose this. But, you know, considering that Ornn Mythics give you about 1k per Mythic upgrade, that's 2. So they're not that far behind as much anymore. And this engage on the Anda, it's stuffed by Tidal Wave and a clutch stopwatch from the jungler TSM Academy. Their window does not seize any capitalization onto TSM.
Now the big thing, as long as they can walk away and not lose anyone in the process.
They're keeping them here because Soul is pushing on the bottom side of the map. He says, you know what, I could just split push, and this is where TSM recognize that their advantage is no longer in the 5-on-5. It's about splitting up Cincinnati Fear on the side lanes. Soul already doing great work, picking up the inhibitor tower. Yes, the inhibitor doesn't fall, but that pressure alone now will live rent-free forever for the rest of the game in Cincinnati Fear's heads. Is now it's like, what? We can go to the Baron now because everyone is focused on Soul.
You're seeing the TPs come through. Both TPs available for the solo laners of Cincinnati Fear. But Mark, I'm afraid they won't get there in time to do anything about it. They're going to have to hope they can win the fight after, because look at those health bars.
TSM Academy complete the Baron, and they get out scot-free without anyone being able to punish. Soul TP'd on over just to make sure that everyone could be defended on their escape route. Cincinnati Fear will be able to trade at least a turret in response and get some pity prize money back into their pockets. But with the Baron buff on their side, one dragon away from Cloud Soul TSM, they are making the final strides to take this series and advance in the tournament.
They're well on their way, Mark. The fact is, we saw how powerful Soul split pushing is right now, working towards his 4th item. And the problem is, with such an insane gold lead, a 4v5 for TSM Academy is a 5v5. So Fear can't actually take an advantageous fight, even with Soul constantly on the split here. So you're in a really difficult position as Cincinnati Fear, and probably a more difficult one than they found themselves towards the end of Game 1, Mark. This is where they're going to have to make their last stand soon. You give TSM Academy, as we've seen, one opening, and they will take it. And with Baron buff in tow and spawn timers as long as they are, that will be the end of Cincinnati's life at Proving Grounds.
And here comes Fear's biggest challenge. How well can they manage these waves from Baron minions pouring in from multiple lanes? Top wave is the only one that hasn't been pushed in all the way by TSM Academy, but dealing with the mid lane, dealing with the bottom wave, as both Soul and the four-man unit of TSM Academy, they're going to look to engage. Soul is running out on Mega Gnar, can't join the fight quite yet. They've got a huge pick on the tactical, and they're advancing on forward, and Soul realizing the fight has already been made by Fear. He's going to look to trade for the inhibitor on the backside, but Cincinnati Fear taking out 2 members from TSM Academy. How far will they go, Beatdown? How far will they chase and look to race against Soul's Gnar on the backside? Soul doesn't even want to look for it. He needs to come back and defend, because Cincinnati Fear are pushing into the base of TSM.
And that is a huge chunk of gold they got back for themselves. A nice call to be able to use that call to Forge God, but now they're in trouble. Are they?
Plucks takes out Soul, making sure that he doesn't get any chance to fight back against Cincinnati Fear. Takeover looking for the pursuit, but the chain connects on a Trickster, has the movement speed for the Frozen Domain, and the rest of Cincinnati Fear, as long as they can recover and not suffer any more losses, this is the making of a comeback for Fear.
This could be happening, Mark. Now the big thing is 40, 50, 45 seconds roughly till the next dragon spawns. You have a lot of gold to spend if you are Cincinnati Fear. Problem is, you lost your bottom inhibitor. As great as that fight is, you now have super minions for the next 5 minutes, giving TSM that auto push on the bottom side of the map. They don't even need to be there. They have to be very careful, especially with teleports coming up very soon for both Soul laners. Soul in particular could have that opening in the next few minutes to just TP into Fear's base for an end. But now, Fear, if they want to continue, because Soul doesn't have teleport now, they have another 5v4.
They're popping on the hunt. Mia already recognizes it, pops the tidal wave so that they are disengaged away from the fight, but Fear have brute forced their way into the pit, flashing forward from Plucks, trying to look for the
Takeover's gone!
And that connected on the takeover. Plucks fearlessly giving his life so they can take out the mid laner of TSM Academy. It is a 5-on-4 now as TSM look to regroup and rout out Fear from this 5-man unit, but Dragoon is holding the line on the bottom side of the map, recognizing their mistakes from game 1. Plucks on the right side, but minions are pouring in through the bottom side of the map, so TSM, if they just stall this one out, Fear will have to deal with the bottom waves pushing in with the super minion at its toe, but they burn down the dragon fast enough that TSM cannot respond.
Mark, they keep on doing it. They keep finding these 4v5s. TSM, with their gold lead, they think surely they're not going to be able to engage onto us. But Dragoon says, forget that. They just call the Oran Horn. Him and Blaze full send it, throw out all the damage, all the CC, and Sketch, who is 4 items deep now on the late game champ Sivir. He is ready to go, Mark. Only one space left in his inventory here, and he hasn't even purchased a stopwatch yet. Could easily go towards that Guardian Angel.
The Mythics have almost been fully completed for the team of Fear as well. An upgraded Leandri's Torment, an upgraded Lock of the Iron Solari for Plucks. It's just one more for Trickster, and then you will have effectively given 5k worth of stats over to Fear, despite what used to be a 9,000, almost 10,000 gold lead from TSM. It is now down to 5,000 just from the numbers alone, and that doesn't even account from the Ornn Mythics.
Right, and then now, here's the big thing. Bottom inhibitor is still down. You have to be careful from Soul split pushing here. He has TP now, so if that wave goes a little too deep, Fear could find themselves losing in a very unexpected and sad fashion. So now, the play is you keep slowing things down, much like in game 1 where they failed. Play patiently, wait for your openings, and when you get them, full send it. It all starts with Dragoon in every one of these skirmishes. He sees an angle, he makes the call, the Forge God, and Cincinnati Fear basically makes space for Sketch to do his thing.
Tensions rise here for TSM Academy fans, watching as the team that they are rooting for had seemingly a huge advantage,
teleport.
And Soul might be collapsed on here. Flashing away, dodges out of the
they want him.
flash, but they are committing 4 members to the play. The Frozen Tomb has been used, but now how fast can TSM look to rectify Soul's sacrifice in exchange? The inhibitor tower on the top side will fall, but I don't think they have enough time to take out the inhibitor completely because Fear are right back in the base.
That is a few more turrets going down. Oh
Plucks?
no, Plucks!
Okay, this flank is ambitious, and he might be routed off, but Fear
He lives!
time. No freaking way. Plux does eventually go down to tactical, but TSM have been split asunder here. Takeover on the left side of the flank has the mobility to be able to get out alive. What seemed like a disastrous mistake for TSM, they're able to space out. Oh my god, beatdown. This game is nuts.
This game is unreal. Tournament lives on the line, and Cincinnati Fear, Mark, they can feel it, but they're not feeling the pressure. They are taking great risks, I will admit, threading the needle, understanding what risks they can try to take, but now they're still in a pretty tough position. Bot inhibitor will be respawning soon. Oh, there it is, right as I called it. And now you do have a moment where maybe you can do something about the Baron. Oh wait, yeah, they just don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is too risky to try and fight for it anyway.
A takeover getting in the face of the Dragoon. I think we'll give the indication over to Fear before the official notification comes out that Baron has been secured by TSM Academy. And for Cincinnati Fear, you are just all in on Sketch and Blaze, this core damage backline. Blaze being able to set up and stun the characters necessary alongside the engage provided by Dragoon, but also Sketch receiving the buffs from Plux so that he can just rip TSM Academy to shreds. And for TSM Academy, you have 3 open inhibitors to look for. It is about the split push. You don't care about this dragon as much either. You just want to pull Fear apart.
And the way you do this, and the way you can win this out as Cincinnati Fear, the dragon, being TSM Soul, could be the opportunity they want.
Ooh, a lot of damage. Pulling onto Trickster, completely unloaded. Takeover looking for Blaze on the flip side as well. Trickster and Blaze forced to retreat. Baron minions at their side. TSM looking to take out the first inhibitor of what could be all 3 in this push.
It's going to be tough. Cincinnati Fear, before that third inhibitor goes down, they have to make the play now. Dragoon, he's the one who signals the start with that call of the Forge God.
2-man knockup, but it's only onto the clone and Anda, so really a 1-man knockup. This second inhibitor has been saved for now, but there's more minions to push for on the top side of the map. Beatdown, I can hear it in your voice. The tension is rising for both of these teams. TSM, while they've had the advantage for so long, they know one slip-up could be fatal, and it could be giving Fear the opportunity to come back. The flash right on the tactical. Takeover looking for the flank on the right side. He has the threatening Sketch, but he is in the middle of this entire 5-man squad. But look at Soul and Takeover. Soul is looking at the top side of the map. He's pushing in the Baron minions to take out the inhibitor. Nexus turrets are being threatened right now, and TSM have only lost 1 member despite everything that just happened. But 3 inhibitors now being taken against Fear means that double super minions will be pouring in through every lane.
That's the problem, Mark. That's it right there. For all of Cincinnati Fear's success, this is going to be their hardest test yet. As, like you said, double supers in every single lane. Dragon Soul going over to TSM Academy. But Blaze, he's not deterred. He wants to fight.
Sketch is running. He popped on the hunt. Huge knocker from Dragoon. They take out Tactical. But what can they get from this afterwards? Mia's already flashed away from the rest of the fight. How far can this fish swim? The rest of TSM turn their eyes onto the dragon. It is burned down unless they can get in range. Wait a minute!
You gotta be kidding me!
They steal the dragon away because TSM didn't have their jungler. He was already taken out. No smite available. And Soul is denied once again.
That is huge. We're at 3 dragons apiece, so someone will get Soul during that next dragon fight to take over. Oh,
he
might actually have the kill.
He wants Plux. He has no flash available, but he cannot find the chains. Good sidestep from Plux. Saves his life.
Huge. Really nice fancy feat from the support of Cincinnati Fear. And Mark, like I said, the real test starts right now. We're going to see it in the replay. You can see how confident Fear are in terms of team fighting here so far. As soon as they get some of these angles, they are ready to take them. And more shutdown gold ends up going into their pocket on top of this dragon they stole. So now again, TSM Academy, even with double supers, you gotta be careful. The long-range engage from this call of the Forge God is so incredibly dangerous. Even Blaze, if he gets in where you can't see him and gets a multi-man root or ult somebody with the Frozen Tomb, either way, Fear could get the angle that they want. Mark, we're looking at 40 minutes. 1 clean ace from either team could close things out.
And the main priority target you want to target as Blaze is either Tactical and Takeover, both champions who don't have QSS, and Cleanse is down for Tactical specifically.
That's true.
So they are prime targets if they get way too close. And if you are Fear, Aurelion Sol's strongest soldier is Sketch. He is the one that is being given all the toughest tasks to ask, but he has full items. He has sold the boots. He has one more damage item in the tank. It is all in on this Sivir. 100% crit rate as well. Every boomerang blade that is ricocheting in these fights will be a crit.
And this is it. You can see it, TSM Academy playing it slow, trying to just escort waves after wave to see what kind of pick they can get off.
Engaging on the Dragoon is not going to get much, though,
On
out
the
of
hunt.
TSM. Tidal Wave and Cyclone already used. Call of the Forge God not making its way, and you have to be careful because Soul is corralling minions with Takeover into the Nexus Towers, so Fear can't even leave the remnants of their base without fearing that these Nexus Towers would fall. These are the only two structures that last, that would not come back after being taken down. They have to stall time until all three inhibitors respawn.
Mark, this is the thing that's dangerous. No Call of the Forge God. The biggest ultimate here for the side of Cincinnati Fear, so if they're not careful, TSM Academy, with that ult down, could look for the angle as soon as Anda gets back the Cyclone. Right now, though, again, Cincinnati Fear, we needed to see the patience game from this roster after what happened in Game 1, after they had it and let it slip through their fingers. And at 41 minutes, Mark, they are holding strong. They just need to win one good fight.
The death timers are long enough where you could do so much immeasurable damage as Cincinnati Fear. As long as Sketch is alive and you have a minion wave, you could very much look to end the game and bring yourselves to a Game 3 at Cincinnati Fear. For TSM, they know the stakes are just as high and the rewards would be just as good for them if they win the fight. If they find Sketch, no longer you have to deal with the wave clear of Sivir. No longer you have to deal with the strongest character in the game at this point being this marksman from the side of Cincinnati Fear. But the fact that they cannot step outside of their base means that another Baron goes the way of TSM freely, and they will look to begin their siege once again.
So much is on the shoulders of Sketch here in these fights, Mark, to get this damage off. A player who's definitely had his time in and around the amateur scene, played on Evil Genius Prodigies, played on several AoE rosters. He's a player who brings a lot of experience to the teams that he is on, a vocal voice on the team. And they're going to need that voice here, Mark.
Oh, but a great tidal wave in Aqua Prison stops Dragoon from being able to cast the
Blaze.
second cast of Call of the Forge God. Blaze chunked out, forced to use
Blaze
the
in
Dodge
trouble.
Hourglass, and capitalizing right on top of it. Takeover has been chunked out, but he
Sketch.
can teleport
Sketch is
right back
going
in
in.
and rejoin the
Sketch
fight.
is going in.
Soul is burning his GA. Sketch and just ripping through
Soul's gone.
the top laner TSM. They look for the knock-up right onto Takeover. He teleports right back in.
Takeover's
Sketch
gone.
finds him with a ricochet blade. And Anda is scurrying to the right side of the map. There's no minion wave to play for. He can always play for inhibitors maybe, but Cincinnati Fear, they are the ones in control of the map.
Insane. 3 inhibs were down, Mark, and they have now all respawned, and Cincinnati Fear have the advantage of bodies on the map. These are long spawn timers. This will be their Dragon Soul if they want it, Mark, but they don't need that. They are marching into TSM Academy's
advantage.
base for the first time this series, and they are going to knock on the doors.
26 seconds on Soul. 30 seconds for Takeover. 5 members still for Cincinnati Fear.
Call of the Forge God.
Available right onto Tactical. He evades it out, but their
Wait.
objective is on the Nexus. They don't need to take out
Wait.
the TSM. They just need to push forward.
Wait.
They believe in Sketch. Let him take out the turrets.
You're
Hit the
kidding me.
Nexus. We're going to a Game fucking 3, baby.
That's what I like to see, Mark. Amateur strikes back. 8 wins total with this one, and they did it perfectly. They were falling behind the entire game. All they needed to do was wait till those item breakpoints. We wanted the patience game,
Yes,
Mark.
sir.
We saw the patience game. Sketch and Blaze, the voices of the team, kept them calm and collected long enough to blow up their Nexus. Their tournament lives are not over yet.
Well, well, well. TSM Academy, they had played a decently topside early game through the advantage of
Good.
Soul. They capitalized on the mistakes and the slight impatience that we saw from Cincinnati Fear, but it was all about Sketch never going down a single time that game, making sure that he was the one that could stall out the game for as long as his team needed it to, and he delivered. And now this brings us to a Game 3. When we come back from this break, TSM Academy and Cincinnati Fear playing for Series Point and Tournament Life Point.
Well, I only watch UFC. I really like the personalities. I think they're like really interesting. So yeah, I think they're just fun people to watch, just overall.